Hello and welcome to Swaay.Health. You know I love a good rebrand story, and we've got another fantastic one coming up right now. With me on the program is Tracey Schroeder from TruBridge. Welcome, Tracey.
Thank you.
Now, you're the Chief Marketing Officer at TruBridge,
I am.
and you've recently done a rebrand from your former name, CPSI.
We did.
Now, that is a very interesting rebrand because CPSI had such a great brand recognition in the market. It's a legacy brand, been around for 30 plus years, I think.
45.
45 plus years.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that rebrand because we don't get a chance often to talk to someone who had to go through such a legacy, such unwinding that legacy. So take me back to the beginning. What was the reason for the rebrand?
Yep. As you said, CPSI has been around a really long time, 45 years, and it started in the small rural communities with rural hospitals and their clinics. And over the years, they've grown. They've acquired companies, EHR companies, they've acquired RCM technology and services, and they've acquired patient engagement services as well. And we kept that CPSI name because of its legacy and created a family of brands, a family of companies. And over the years, it just started to become more complicated to tell our story and to really be clear and concise about what it is we offer and how to do business with us. So this was a story about simplifying. In an industry that's extremely complicated, it was our turn to take that step and simplify.
Yeah, House of Brands, or you call it a family of brands, sounds really nice because you get to leverage the legacies of those brands. But as you start to get more and more of them, it's, as you said, it starts to really become unwieldy in terms of the amount of resources you have to spend maintaining those brands and the messaging.
Duplication, the investment for every brand underneath that parent company was just getting to be too much. So, I mean, and even internally for us as a company, it started to create silos in how people worked as well. So it helps us from an internal perspective as well.
Now, when did this simplification movement happen? Did this come from the top? Was it something that you recognized from your customers? Where did that really start?
Right. If I would say it probably started a couple years ago now, when we were noticing more and more confusion with our clients and confusion with our employees. And we started to talk about what brand could be that lead brand for us. There was a lot of dialogue internally, and at the end of the day, data wins out. So we did our fair share of market research. We researched our client base, our employee base, and the market. And what we learned was, yes, CPSI is a very well-known brand, but it's a certain niche in the market. And we wanted to expand what we were known for. And out of our family of brands, TruBridge was the one that really had the most positive perception and the best, or the most awareness, I should say. So it was a no-brainer at that point.
So TruBridge was one of the brands that was part of the family.
That was our RCM company.
Ah, okay.
And it was growing significantly out of all of our companies. So it just was a natural fit.
So tell me a little bit about the internal workings of the initial rebrand. Who was hanging on most dearly to the old names or anything, or what was the biggest challenge during those early days?
The biggest challenge was, again, back to being a company that's been around for 45 years. We have a lot of loyal employees and clients that have been with us for many years, and they have certain affiliations with either the CPSI brand, but also our EHR brand, which was Evident. That was another brand in the family. And so the most important part came, we have a really significant base of EHR clients, and we certainly didn't want them to think that we were turning our backs on them. So that, more than anything, both our employee base in our EHR business unit and in our client base, we wanted them to know this is going to be a very positive thing for you.
And how did you communicate that to your clients and to your employees?
Well, very carefully and over, repetitive. We really took the stance of where we started is in small communities with our EHR, and that's what we built upon. And that's something that is very valuable to us. We are coming out with more technology and services that's a good fit for them. So it would be silly for us to turn our backs on them. There's a lot more for us to do for them.
Well, it sounds like you did a lot of the upfront foundational work. You did the market research,
Yeah.
you consulted with your customers, you communicated that this rebrand was happening. Walk me through the execution side a little bit. What were some of the things that you had to do, or some of the first things you tackled after the decision was made to rebrand?
Right. Well, first was taking a step back and creating our brand strategy as a whole, and starting from the bottom up. What was our vision? What is our position? What's our differentiator? What is our why as one company moving forward? Once we got those blocks in place, then we started bringing people in. We had work groups internally that we brought them in under the tent, as we called it, and started getting their input and buy-in and help in turning a lot of stuff over for the rebrand. But then we also brought in a few clients as well, and we shared with them what we were doing, and we asked them, what concerns you? What excites you? What do we need to be aware of before we do this so that we don't miss a beat on this?
And what's the reaction been to the new brand so far?
So far, very positive. Almost like oh, I'm not surprised
Oh, wow,
type
okay.
reaction. We have a lot of things planned between now and the end of the year to make sure that it's not just a one and done sort of thing, but that we stick with it.
That's a good sign when people go, oh, that's a natural progression.
Right.
You know you've hit the mark when that's
Right.
the reaction.
Right.
That's
Yeah, we
great.
feel good about it.
That's great. What's next for TruBridge? What are you working on next?
Well, we're going to be at HIMSS later this year, and then we have our National Client Conference the end of April, first part of May. We're going to be in Vegas, and that's going to be, I think a lot of our clients want to come to our conference to see what's it like now being part of TruBridge.
Okay.
And so that should be really exciting. Other than that, we're out in the market right now. And, to your point, the repetitiveness that we were talking about earlier, all the shows that we go to now throughout the year, we're there as one company, and we're really making a stronger stand with a simple message versus multiple companies at these shows.
Well, it simplifies your swag order, right? And it simplifies the ordering you have to do for the user comments. One set of banners,
Yes.
not
Yes.
multiple ones.
We've got a fire sale going on too.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you. Where can people go to find more information about TruBridge?
TruBridge.com would be the place to go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Tracy, thank you so much for
Thank
being on
you.
our program.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I want to thank Tracy for coming on camera with me and talking about their unique rebrand. It is not often that we get to go behind the scenes with someone who is dealing with 45 years of brand legacy and trying to rebrand a company. Kudos to them for doing such a good job. And hey, if you enjoyed this interview as much as I did, please like and subscribe. Also, head on over to Swaay.Health. That's Sway with 2 A's, .health, where you can find more great content like this. I'm Colin Hung. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode.